The woman we usually associate with Abraham is Sarah, and that's why this title might be a little bit weird, Abraham and Hagar. But that is exactly how the story of Abraham and Hagar is, very weird. In Genesis chapter 15, verse 4, God says to Abraham that a son coming from your own body will be your heir. And then in verse 6, it says, Abraham believed the Lord and he credited to him as righteousness. But then in chapter 16, we see that Sarah asked Abraham to go and sleep with Hagar, and surprisingly, Abraham accepted it. Abraham and Sarah made a common mistake that a lot of Christians today make, and that is taking matters into our own hands. God had promised Abraham that he would get a son through his own body, and Abraham must have thought that if he's getting a child with Hagar, it is technically from his own body, and this must be what God had promised him, and that's why he went ahead with the plan. But as the story further continues, we understand that Abraham having a child with Hagar wasn't God's plan at all. And the next time God spoke with Abraham in Genesis chapter 17, verse 16, he says, I will bless her and will surely give you a son by her. And God is talking about Sarah over here. God made sure to tell that Abraham will get a child by Sarah itself. Taking matters into their own hands caused Abraham and Sarah a lot of problems. Once Hagar knew she was pregnant, she started to despise Sarah, and then Sarah started to mistreat Hagar, and then Hagar ran away. And then later we see that Ishmael mocked Isaac, and then Ishmael and Hagar had to be sent away forever. The problem doesn't stop there. If we look further ahead in the Bible, we see that the Ishmaelites were always a problem to the Israelites. So because Abraham and Sarah took matters into their own hands and decided to fulfill God's covenant in their own way, they caused so much problem to themselves and also to their future descendants. So whenever God gives you a promise in your life, learn to trust in Him and wait patiently. Do not try to take matters into your own hands and try to fulfill God's covenant much faster. Rather, wait on God's time.